Hi, Ben.
Hi,
Sarah
how
from
you
The Upcoming.
doing?
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Sarah, thank you for waiting. I mean, I don't know where you get your patience.
Where were you? Why were you so late?
Well, I was filming. I was actually filming. And we were doing a scene that I was like very much in. And you know, there's a certain. I was desperately sort of. I'm you know, I've got a premiere and everything, but you know what it's like. You know, you can't turn a ship like that round. So basically, yeah. As soon as we finished, I mean, the second we finished, I hopped on the back of this motorbike and came at. I have to say, yeah, we never exceeded the speed limit, but I think we got pretty close to it.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for speaking for us. So, Johnny English, just the third instalment. What's it been like returning to this character, and what can fans expect from this one?
Do you know, it's been like slipping into a pair of comfortable leggings. Comfortable actors' leggings. Yeah, comfortable actors' tights. It's been amazing. It was just, soon we hit the ground running. It's, you know what we love about Johnny is just there's that spy story, there's the villain you've got to stop, so there's a real jeopardy there, you know, good must triumph over evil, and so many brilliant stunts, and everything is always a twist on those Bond-type set pieces. You know, there's always something very funny about the way that Johnny goes about it. There's a brilliant bit in it where we build him a virtual reality model of the villain's lair, and he has this headset that he has to put on to get into the model. And basically, when you do this sort of in training, there's a moving walkway. He forgets to switch the moving walkway on and sort of goes out through the door, and there's like out through the London traffic with this headset on, fighting people in the street and, you know, assaulting an old lady with a baguette. I mean, it's just brilliant. So expect that sort of thing. It's that sort of thinking you're in virtual reality but you're not sort of joke.
I mean, Rowan Atkinson's a bit of an institution in terms of British comedy. What do you think it is that makes him so funny, and what do you think he brings from kind of all those characters, Mr. Bean, you know, Blackadder, to this role?
Well, I think if we knew that, we'd all do it. I mean, Rowan is, yeah, he's more than a British institution. He's a global institution. You know, he's a sort of, you know, he's a complete one-off. You know, there's nobody like Rowan Atkinson, and there never will be. You know, you know, I don't use the word lightly. He's a genius. It's amazing. It's incredible to work with him. It's incredible what he does. His concentration and his application are extraordinary. But his talent is also just boundless. So when you put the two together, you get this kind of, you know, extraordinary machine that sort of lifts everybody off the ground.
And we're in pretty tumultuous times politically. Do you think that we're all in need of a bit of good old British humour to cheer us all up?
I mean, if you ever wanted a remedy for the Brexit blues, I think it's Johnny English, yeah. Because, I mean, it was funny actually, when we were filming, you know, there was a moment when we were in Whitehall and we got in this sort of red Aston Martin and we were about to sort of go driving off down the road and the sun came out and it felt like a sort of a Brexit dawn. Just, I mean, I think here we are, off to sort of, you know, off to fire missiles at French cyclists. This feels like, you know, yeah, you know, this feels like a brave new beginning. And I think, however you feel about Brexit, you know, if you think it's the, you know, if you think it's the answer to the world's ills, or whether you think it's going to be an absolute unmitigated disaster, or something in between, Johnny English will definitely cheer you up.
And can you quickly tell us about your upcoming projects? I know you've got a children's book coming out, and then have you got anything else as well?
That's so nice of you to ask. Yeah, I have a beautiful children's book coming out the 1st of November that I've been working on for, you know, a few years. Basically, it's called The Night I Met Father Christmas. It's got the most beautiful illustrations in it. It's about a boy, I think he's about 9, 10 years old, and a friend at school has heard a rumour that Father Christmas doesn't exist, and the boy thinks that's just ridiculous. You know, then who brings the presents, who rides the sleigh, who eats the mince pie, who drinks the brandy? But it puts a doubt in the boy's mind, so he decides to stay up and meet Father Christmas. Meets him, gives Father Christmas such a shock that he twists his ankle and can't deliver the presents. So the boy helps him deliver the presents, and while they go, Father Christmas tells him the story of how he became Father Christmas. Yeah, I mean, if that was like a pitch for a movie.
We'll definitely look out for it.
Yeah, I'll have to say, I mean, there was a moment we did in the film where we were at the we were filming at what I believe is the Foreign Office, and we drove out through this tiny doorway, and Rowan insisted on doing the stunt himself every single time. And of course, if they can see Rowan, they're going to be able to see me, so I've got to be there as well. And I only really sort of owned up to Rowan how traumatic I'd found the whole experience recently. And of course, because he's very polite, he was sort of desperately concerned. I was like, terribly sorry. I'm so sorry. I had no idea you found it so stressing. I think Bob's a really great comic creation because there's an ordinariness about him. You don't get a lot of characters that are sort of ordinary, and something about Boff's ordinariness in the context of a spy film is just very funny. I found the idea that there's someone who's a bit, they're not really, they're not Daniel Craig. I mean, they're not. They're not really. I mean, Boff's not a terribly adventurous person, and I think really enjoys the admin side of things, and making sure that all the receipts are tallied at the end of the day, and he makes a proper expenses claim for Johnny when they get back. But I think for him it's an extraordinary adventure, and it sort of is for me really. Because I mean, my life is normally a bit like Boff's, I suppose. There is one actually, which is when we put these. It was just extraordinary. So that there's this sequence in the film where we're trying to get onto this super yacht, and Johnny decides. I mean, I can't imagine this is standard security service practice, but he decides that we're going to get up by putting these magnetic boots on, and we're going to walk up the side of the yacht. No one questions this at any point, least of all me. So of course we've got these boots on, and you can't. And once you're there, you're sort of strapped into them. And they were huge, great things. I think they were like adapted from 1970s ski boots and stuff. So I mean, once you're in it, you literally can't walk. So the two of us were trying to walk up this sort of sloping side of the, because it wasn't vertical, but it was like quite a serious slope, and the two of us sort of hanging onto one another, trying to get up the slope. I was just getting the terrible fits and the giggles, because there's something about Rowan when he moves. He's just so funny, and some of the times I don't think he even knows how funny he's being. I don't know that it's always intentional, to be honest. I mean, mostly it is, but there's just something about him and the way that he answers, like, absolutely helpless with laughter. Yeah, I wanted to, if I could, take a GIF and put it on my social media. I wanted to do, current mood, and Theresa May doing that little move. Two of the things. I think I sort of love Theresa May for doing that today. I mean, I know. I think people should just back off a bit and let the woman dance. She clearly wants to dance. Let her dance. But going back to your question about Theresa May, going back to your question about Emma Thompson, see how easy we interchange the two. I just think also, Theresa's not going to do the job forever. Couldn't Emma, at some point, just segue? Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying Emma's got a certain gravitas that Theresa also has, and they've both got moves. I think it could work. We could segue seamlessly from one to the other. Does anybody know? Does anybody know? But seriously, does anybody have any idea where we're at with this? I just get the feeling that now we're just swirling either. It feels like we're sort of swirling around some plug hole, and we don't even know what's in the middle of it. It's just everything and anything being suggested at the moment. It's just sort of like, I know. What if I'm in the customs union and no one else is? Would that work? And we could use technology, and if you buy something off me and you go to the European Union, I don't know. It just sort of seems to be a bit slightly haywire at the moment. But it'll all get sorted, won't it, within the next couple of weeks? I'm pretty sure. They all seem like they're on top of it. And pretty soon, I think we'll have a watertight agreement. We'll all know where we stand, and it'll all be really clear what's happening.